Strength where I am weak. found Acts chapter 26, beginning at verse number 22. Acts chapter 26, beginning at verse number 22. If you dare say amen. If not, Lord help. Find these words left on record. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. Amen. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day. Amen. Look at the names of neighbor. Staying cool under pressure. Amen. Stay cool under pressure. My brothers and my sisters, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is that pressure is going to come in your life. The good news is that even though the pressure exists, you can still stay cool, calm, and collected. Life has its way of trying to defeat you and dig a stopper and to bring you down. If you don't believe that every day of your life, the moment you open your eyes, life began to remind you of your problems around you. Notice that even when life, Satan began to have your mind reminiscing about your problems, never do he try to regulate your mind and think about your blessings. Notice the time in your life when the only thing that's really on your mind is your trials and tribulations. And the reason why is because the devil knows that you've been blessed. The devil knows that even though he's the one putting the problem on you, he already knows you can defeat whatever it is that he put on. He's aware of that, Adam. He knows that if Adam get up in the morning and look to the hills from which coming in help and turn his problems over to God, he knows that God will give him strength to overcome. And so he plays with our mind because he knows that our reaction to our problems can affect how God delivers us from our problem. Let me say this again. The devil knows that our response, our attitude about our problems can affect how God delivers us from our problem. See, you need to know now that God has expectations for us. And that God wants us to be the same faithful, the same Christian, the same positive attitude, the same smile that we have when things are good. God wants us to have that same attitude and posterior when things are bad. And sometimes you notice in the responsive reading, God pretty much said in the responsive reading to Israel, I'm tired of you blame sacrifices. If you look at the response, God really said to Israel, listen, y'all sacrifice all these lambs and all these wolves and y'all doing all this blood sacrificing and all of that, but yet you're not trying to honor me and recognize me. And then God said, when you pray, I'm not going to hear you. He said, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm not going to see you. Do you know sometimes God closes his eyes when we are not in line with him? And in the text, Paul, my brothers and sisters, have had and have experienced all kinds of trials and tribulations as they believe. At the point in this text now, Paul is in prison. Paul has shackles on his hands and shackles on his feet. Y'all remember some of the shackles on my feet won't let me dance. Paul had shackles on his feet and on his arm. But yet, if you notice in the lesson, Paul is still not complaining about the situation he's in. Talking about Christ got him in trouble. And while in trouble and in prison, he's still talking about Christ. My brother and sister, what I'm trying to tell you, no matter how bad things get in your life, keep talking about Jesus. Even when you're sick, talk about Jesus. When you feel like giving up, talk about Jesus. Even when you look like you're down in the valley, keep talking about Jesus. I want to look at 4 things in the text and I'll be through. Got a meeting this evening that I don't want to go to, but I'm going. Amen, y'all. Amen. I want us to look at, the first thing I want to look at is Paul, his unwavering faith. Look at the neighbor, unwavering faith. See, if you want things to work out in your life, you can't allow your faith to waver. Because you still serve the same God. God still got all power. And your faith has to be the same no matter what kind of predicament you find yourself in. We have to learn to keep the faith in God. God don't like it when we smile in the day. This evening we frown up and crying and worry about our problem. And tomorrow we all right. And this evening we ain't all right. And at 12 we all right. And at 1 o'clock we not all right. God don't want that. Notice in verse 22, look what Paul said. He said, having therefore obtained help of God, he said, I continue unto this day. Notice Paul was saying, listen, because I have obtained help from God, I'm going to continue, even to this day, continue to keep Jesus on my mind. But brother and sister, he's in chains, he's in prison, and he's not noticed he's talking to the governor. He could really be pleading for his freedom, but he's not pleading for his freedom. He's pleading for Jesus. And my brother, see here, you got to quit worrying. You too selfish. Only thing you worried about is your own happiness. That's all you're worried about. Only thing you worried about is that ends meet. The only thing you worried about is that your bills get paid. The only thing you worried about is that you don't get sick. The only thing you worried about is that you have some joy. The only thing you worried about is that you want to sleep at night. The only thing you worried about is you don't have to cry in the heat of the day. The only thing you worried about is you don't want no burdens to bear. You don't want no heavy load to carry. That's the only thing you're concerned about. But you ought to be concerned about Jesus. We got to, as believers, quit trying to find so much happiness and joy and so many careers and work things out in this world that's going to end one day. And we ought to be focusing on working for Jesus. Folk got perfect attendance on the job. They won't want to go to church. What y'all say to like that? I went to work because I wanted to make, I had already figured out, listen, I got this, I got to pay, I got to make, I can't miss no day this week, ain't been rented to, ain't been my light bill due this week, so I couldn't miss no hours because I needed all my hours and some more. Okay, well, I need Jesus to continue to bless me. Listen, you need God's hand over and on your life more than you need your job. Won't you say amen like that? So here's what you got to realize. I'm retired now. Even when I was at Sun Grove, listen, I didn't need Sun Grove more than I needed Jesus, because Jesus could have fixed it so I could hit the lottery and I didn't have to work no more. Won't y'all say, Sun Grove wasn't going to bless me to hit no lottery. I had to work every day. They wasn't going to give me anything either. If I died, they went on to somebody else. But here's what you need Jesus. You need him. You don't make your boss man unhappy when you need him. You don't offend folk out that you need to be there for. You don't want to offend your friend. You don't want to offend those that you need to help you. Amen. And the reason why is because you know you need them. But here's what, you need Jesus in your life. And not only do you need Jesus in your life, you need Jesus to do some things in your, it's more than enough. See, listen, I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, but I need more than to be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. I need a firefighter, amen, when the fire is in my life. I need a doctor in the sick room. I ain't no trouble, amen. I need a lawyer in the courtroom. I need more than the salvation. Living in this world, I need somebody to give me strength when I'm weak, but you need Jesus. You got Jesus. I said, when you got Jesus, listen, you got something. But let me tell you, y'all don't realize you got somebody on your side. The only thing you got to do is make him happy. You make Jesus happy, everything else will be all right. And so he had that unwavering faith. He could really be singing that song, I'm locked up and they won't let me out. But he's still singing Jesus and him crucified. And then notice his faith, he had unceasing confession. Look at the names of the neighbor, unceasing confession. Amen. See, not only must you just talk about Jesus, but you must confess that Jesus is your Lord and your Master. Amen. See, Paul, even though he was in prison, listen to verse 24, they even thought Paul was crazy. Festus said, Paul, you got to be crazy. Look at what it says in verse 24, verse 20, and as thus spake for himself, Paul speaking for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Even though you smart, you sound like a crazy man. My brother, and he kept on talking about Jesus. One of the reasons why I believe they thought he was crazy, and if I had been Festus, I thought he was crazy too. I would say, y'all excuse me, my friend, God said, nigga, you talking about the wrong thing. You talking about Jesus, this man here can set you free. Amen. You all be begging, amen, for some pardon or parole. Amen. You still talking about the same thing that locked you up. Amen. Talk about Christ when you get set free. But you need to be talking about let me go. Paul said, y'all mind about the verbalized thing a little bit. Paul said, man, look, I ain't crazy. In other words, he really wants to, you don't want to pray. Anybody don't believe in Jesus got to be crazy. Amen, Paul. He said, Paul said, look at what he said. In verse 25, when he said, I'm not mad. In other words, I'm not crazy. And then notice, he said, verse 25, I like this. Remember I said staying cool under pressure. The reason why I know Paul stayed cool is because you don't call another man crazy. But notice Paul's response to Festus. He said, I'm not mad, calm, most noble Festus. Even though Festus called him crazy, he still honored Festus. See, we get mad at folk when folk throw a rock at him. We can go try to find a rock that's bigger than the one they threw. We throw it back and also everybody throwing rocks at one another. Somebody got to put their hand in their pocket. Amen, Lord. And then, so not only have unwavering faith, he just kept on the opportunity to be set free. And then the other thing we see is his unflinching courage. My brother and sister, you cannot be afraid of life. You cannot be afraid of your problems in your tribulation. Some folks, I'm scared, I ain't gonna figure out how to do this, I'm afraid, I'm not gonna figure out how to live. Listen, as a believer in Christ, we cannot live in fear, wondering what our end gonna be, because I already know that at the end of the storm, there's treasure. If you are a believer, I'm almost through, if you are a believer, ain't but one thing on the other side of your story, and that's a blessing. If you can just stay on your feet, don't see if you get knocked down and win, and you ever got kind of knocked over when you ain't got the balance, you can't really stand up and strong. And sometimes we let the wind throw us off balance, and sometimes we let the wind take us off our feet. But if you don't move forward, listen, I never seen a storm that stood still. Want y'all to say amen? See, every storm now it may move slow, and I've seen storms go and come back the same way it went and turn around. But I've never seen a storm that stands still. Now here's what I want to show you. I'm going somewhere. So if a storm is always moving, even if I can just stand firm and just wait the storm out, the storm will eventually pass over. Y'all, listen. That storm you in your life is moving. It may not be moving as fast as you want it to move, but your storm moving. If you can just stand still, here's the problem. Some of our problem is that when our storm is moving forward, watch this, we start backing up on Jesus. Here's the problem of backing up on Jesus. Is that if I just back up on Jesus, whenever I start moving forward again, I'm going to run into the storm. Can you hear this? Here's what you got to do. See, it's all right, stand still, nigga. I'm almost through. It's all right for y'all to stand still. Well, it's good. Make sure you stand still. Don't get knocked down. Get knocked down, get back up, amen. But you stand firm in Jesus. But I don't stand still. I want y'all to say amen. Because I've learned in my life that if the storm is moving, if I can move faster than the storm, ultimately I get out my storm a whole lot quicker. Amen. See, sometimes God wants you to keep moving forward. Amen. Sometimes God wants you to not just stand firm, but keep moving forward. Keep singing for Jesus. Keep praying for Jesus. Keep worshiping Jesus. Keep serving the Lord. Even when things are bad, serve the Lord. And now my brothers and sisters, and we look at this text, we're talking about staying cool under pressure. We learn, we see here in the text, first thing we see is Paul unwavering faith. And the second thing that we see in the text is Paul's unceasing confession of the Lord. The third thing that we see in the text is Paul's unflinching courage. And but the last thing we see here in the text is Paul's undismayed love for the Lord. See, I stopped by here to let you know that I'm not here just because God loved me. I'm here because I fell in love with the Lord a long time ago. The problem is so many of us to the house of the Lord because I love Jesus. The reason why I praise his name because I love Jesus. The reason why I lift him up and worship him is because I love Jesus. Can anybody testify?